Let's take a look at how to create the navigation using SwiftUI. So I have a SwiftUI project. My content view, I have the view for our main screen. And in that, I created a navigation stack, and I gave it a path of $food truck path. That is a public variable that I created as a state variable that's simply a navigation path, and I named mine food truck path. That navigation stack, because I want to have a black background, I used a Z stack. So I colored that Z stack color black, and then I added a V stack, which would be our display. We have our food truck logo, our navigation link for the first button of our foods, navigation link for the second button for the schedule. I did a little spacer, and then the image of the food truck. So that's the end of our V stack. I added an ignore safe area to have that black go all the way up through the top, given the newer phones where you have that space at the top that's kind of a cutout. We want to make sure that's still black. And then I created a struct of menu view. So simply as another view. Let's go over and look at that view. So here's the content view for that one. I used an @environment private variable that I called dismiss. And that'll simply dismiss this view when we lay it on the stack. In this case, I eliminated the back button as well. And we'll see how I did that in a minute. I have a variable for the menu text that I set up. And then here's our view. Again, we use a Z stack, making it black for the color background. Our V stack, we have our food truck logo. We have our image of daily menu. That's this area here. And then my text is referencing that menu text variable we created. Spacer, and then the return button. And the return button has an on-tap gesture that's calling dismiss. And that will cause this view to be removed from the stack, that navigation stack. Give it some padding. So here's where I turned that navigation back button, made it hidden so you don't see it. And then also have it ignore the safe area and make everything black. Did the same thing on the schedule view. So I'm adding in another struct schedule view, which is a type view. Here's that view. And by the way, let me scroll down here, because what I did in the content view previews, I added all three views here. So that's why I'm getting these three buttons up here. So pretty much the same thing here. On this view, I set the environment variable to dismiss, created a schedule text string variable as a state variable that contains my text. I used the triple quotes to maintain the formatting. And then there's my view. Z stack, color black, V stack, our logo, the image that says schedule, my schedule text, which is coming from that variable, spacer, and return button that's dismissing. And again, I hid the back button. That's basically it. So all the navigation is happening through that navigation stack and then dismissing each of those other views that are laid on top. Let's run it, see if it works. So here's my project. I can click our foods, return, schedule, return. That's using the navigation stack in SwiftUI. If you just jumped into this video, you can see all the videos from the iOS app development cohort playlist by clicking on the image in the lower right. And if you'd like to be alerted to future videos that I create, you can click my picture up in the top right and subscribe to the channel.